Hello， 各位战地系列的玩家，还有我的频道订阅者，大家好。今天我们要分享一个战地6的他们2个开发者的 interview， 也所谓的访谈。那里面也提到很多东西，那已经有文字中文档上去了。那其中有提到了反外挂这部分啊，这部分来讲的话呢，我们看一下他怎么说。因为有一篇文章呢，有稍微提到一下他们都讲，但是呢，我只能跟你们讲哈，这个唬烂的新闻呢，我看很多，但是呢，这一篇最精彩。好，我们看下去。
At the point of this going out, though, embargoes are finally lifted. People are finally seeing your game officially for the first time. So, what does it feel like to be in this moment and finally almost be there?
I mean, I'm fired up. You know, the teams have been working so hard on this for so long.
我们现在想一下哈，战地5的时候，他们有3个人出来讲战地5的事情啊。我那时候在网络上看到有人他就唬烂3人组，因为当初战地5的完成度本来就是不高，但是他们还是把战地5呢硬把它给推出来了。那这一次呢，战地6呢只有2个人。那这2个人呢，我们先讲一下哈，这个文斯战胚胎它是 Call of Duty 的元老级的。好，那我之前影片有提到，你光靠一个人的力量，你要完全主导的战地系列的生死，我个人觉得是不可能的事情，因为战地系列这是一个很大的团队。再来就是说这家伙之前没有经历开发过战地系列，所以说美其名它是战地6没有错，但是我不知道你们有没有发现到一件事情，如果你跟我一样经过战地3、战地4、战地5的这个情况来讲的话呢，你会发现到一件事情，就是经典绝对是回归的，但是呢，有一种就是重置的感觉。好，我们看一下。
I want everyone to know, like, just we've obsessed over the details of Battlefield just to make sure that we get it right. So the combat, the classes, the destruction, all-out warfare, and for me, I can't get enough of the game in our own playtests and stuff. So it's just, for us, it's insanely fun. And then through Battlefield Labs, all the validation that we've gotten through that. So for us, it's like, man, let's get this in the hands of players. So I'm nothing but fired up at this point.
Yeah, it's been, years of behind the scenes work. It's, that moment when you can finally share is just, it's terrifying, but at the same time, just, like so powerful, so good. The whole team gets excited around seeing the world's reaction. And it's been like so far, like the energy in the room has been amazing. It's been such a great moment for us.
And I know we've seen a lot and you guys are still going to show us a lot, but if you can, what are some of the key differences that are going to separate this Battlefield from all the others preceding it?
I think we heard a lot of that, and we wanted to be very specific about that. That the focus of it is to get Battlefield right, to do Battlefield better than it's ever been done before. And so that started with like the combat system of building that up from scratch. Like we want this to be the best combat you've ever experienced in Battlefield. And then we know we're famous, people love destruction in Battlefield. So we've spent a lot of time making sure, like, man, what's an insane level of
这边我插一下话哈，战地系列的毁灭破坏这部分来讲，就是如果你在英文看到 destruction， 就是毁灭的意思，破坏的意思。他们在这一次的战地系列来讲的话，很强调这一点。也就是说，如果你有玩过之前的战地3、战地4的话来讲，它这个 RPG 里面可以做那种爆破那种动作，那种特效。那在这个动画里面来讲，就是它的宣传面来讲，你这个部分的确是做得很好。你要说它浮夸也可以，因为的确是真的是很浮夸、很夸大。那当然这牵涉到了很多，比如说是物理引擎，还有说他们战地系列最引以为傲的寒霜引擎。那这部分来讲的话，还是要等到他们游戏释出之后呢。是不是又推出了跟以前2042也讲到什么最新的寒霜引擎，或者说新的版本？这是不一样的东西哦，各位，这是不一样的东西。新版的跟新版的跟新的架构的这个游戏引擎，那是不同 level 的。 不同 level， 因为我不太相信你在2042到这几年当中，你研发一个全新的引擎，我不太相信，因为太难，而且时间太短。那会不会是新的版本？那这是不一样的东西。你看一下《战地3》跟《战地4》，还有《战地5》、《战地2042》那个版本的那个引擎就差很多了，因为寒霜引擎不在啊。再来就是说呢，如果你有看我玩《最终决战》老 EA 代时的他们的爆破场景，你就会知道说，其实他们现在的新的战地系列有点在倾向于最终决战的 Finals 的那种感觉，但是会不会变成说有一种不上不下的那种感觉？因为就我的 Finals 玩了400多个小时，最终决战玩的我2年，我玩了400多个小时，我断断续续的在玩，直到我前2天又回去玩的时候，你会发现到一件事情，什么事情呢？其实战地6的爆破，个人我是觉得，如果你有玩过最终决战，我是觉得还好。但是你会发现到，就是说，现在网络上很多人觉得说，他好像爆破做得很炫。我跟你讲，没有比较，没有伤害。你去看一下最终决战，人家爆破那个场景是怎么去做的，你就会知道说，这个是差异在哪里。
Destruction that really impacts the fun of the game, and I think for us, I'm really excited for players to experience that, because for us in every playtest we have, there's some outrageous moment or moments in the game where you're just like destruction comes into play, and so for us there is a spectacle aspect of it, but it's part of the gameplay and the fun of it that just makes it insane. So, the combat, the destruction.
这个之前的战地系列来讲的话，战地2042来讲的话，你会发现到一件很好笑的事情只要是游戏做得烂，就会有人离开那我不知道这2个人在战地6释出多久的时候呢，会不会有人离开？那只要有离开，就表示一件事情呢，就是战地6脱垂滑铁卢，那有人要下台负责。有人就要下来负责的。那至于是谁呢？我也不相信，我也不希望会发生这种事情。但是这种事情呢，每一次战地系列都会有这种事情发生。
Like really amping up the classes. You heard out there, like Tompen and our core combat team, like they're maniacs with this. Like they just go all out on the gadgets and the class fantasies and so forth. So for me, it's like, man, it's just getting Battlefield right in all those dimensions. And I think if we do that, I think it's one of the most fun games in all of this industry.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think there's a lot of things that Battlefield has done best of class over the years, maybe not all of them together. Our goal is to do as many of those together as we can and just bring all the greatness of Battlefield together in one package. And, like with the destruction stuff, it's about also predictable destruction, which I think came up in the Q&A.
我很赞同他讲的一句话，就是将过去战地系列所有好的优点的东西都集中在一起，去研发一个战地系列，这个是好事情。只是他们能够发挥到什么程度，这个我必须要打一个问号。但是至少这个理念我是赞同的。
Today, it's not about chaos, it's not about randomness, it's about, you need to learn the battlefield and be able to play that in a predictable way and learn how to use it to your advantage. And with randomization, it doesn't really work that way. So it's kind of, the team has just done so much work around finding out a way that enhances the play, not detracts from it, and like the results have been like way better than I think we even imagined.
We'll have to reiterate some of these questions. Obviously, the information will already be public. I'm sure you guys already understand that. But when it comes to maps and modes, the basics of the game, can we go over that really quick so people can get a base detail on what's going to be available at launch?
Yeah, sure. So we're gonna have 8 modes at launch and 9 maps. So the modes that we're gonna be launching with is all-out warfare. That's what we're known for. That's what Battlefield's famous.
这一次的战地系列来讲的话呢，这个全面战争有一张地图是烈焰风暴，战地3的烈焰风暴那张经典的地图，就是如果你有玩过战地3的烈焰风暴。里面来讲的话，是烈焰风暴，好像不是，就有一张我忘记它叫什么名字，叫 Firestone， 那我忘记它中文叫什么名字，那就是全面，我忘记它叫，反正因为我在战地3我有玩过，你可以就是玩这个飞机，然后它还可以打有石油，那边有是石油储存站，然后你也可以开坦克。 然后它是属于全面战争，那张地图很好玩哦，但是也很难哦。那如果你是工兵系列的话，这个 Firestone 那个 Operation 那张地图，我忘记它中文叫什么，忘记哦，很好玩，但是也很吃走位。我在玩战地3的时候，我对那张地图我非常的怀念哦。
For. So that's Conquest, Breakthrough, and Rush. But we've also added a mode to that suite called Escalation, which we're just having a blast with in the studios. Like it's a new kind of twist on Conquest, but the battlefield reduces a number of capture points, and it just really consolidates the action at the end. It's really fun. And then we have classic modes with the battlefield DNA infused in them. So we have Squad Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, King of the Hill, and Domination. And I just want, for me, I just want everyone to know, like, our version of Domination, for example, is like, it's with the battlefield DNA. So, there's so many times where like you're capturing a sector in Domination and trying to protect it. All of a sudden the walls blow out of it and it totally transforms the nature of the match. So we're having a blast in those modes as well. And then from a map perspective, we'll be launching with 9 maps. And I think the team's been meticulous with this to make sure that we have the right mix of urban and nature maps, the right infantry maps with all-out warfare, with all the vehicles. Like, we just want to have the right suite for players.
And this, we're only talking about multiplayer here in this event. So, like, there's a lot more still to come. And there'll be a lot more coming, like, in the future. Like, this is the start of Battlefield, right? Like, we're going to be continuing to develop, like, as the years come.
各位，他在暗示什么，你知道吗？就是我们现在玩的买的这个战地系列的游戏呢，它之后后续还会有更多的东西啊，更多的东西相对的，你就是要另外再付费了。你看一下战地2.4跟战地5，它一定会出 DLC 其他的东西。他已经讲这个詹佩拉已经讲得很清楚，这只是一个开始而已。那我们现在回到游戏这个我刚提的一个所在，你会愿意花一个2000多块钱的去买一个游戏？那这个游戏呢，大概也只有2-3年的寿命，因为2-3年的寿命，它就会改朝换代，它会换新的游戏。然后在这段时间之内呢，这半年至1年之内来讲，它一定会再出一个 DLC 或是其他的比如说战地1跟战地5的就是那种，或者说通行证那种模式去营运。那我个人觉得，既然詹佩拉都这么说了，那其实这也是在我们意料当中。也就是说，今天你花这个钱，我相信，如果你是按照正常的管道来讲，什么幻影版什么不管，你大概要花到2000块到3000块钱之内，你才可能会玩到《战地风云6》的比较完整架构的游戏，包括之后出现的一些主体，把它我看一下《战地3》就知道了，《战地3》跟《战地4》，你看后面出了多少DLC你们自己去看的。如果按照它这个模式来讲，大概你要花多少钱那当然了，如果它的水准各位，这是我自己的理解观念而已，不一定要听我的。如果你的这一次战地6出的架构完成度是非常高的，其实我不会排斥去拜这个之后的价格，因为你觉得我买的很有价值。比如说我在玩的三角洲，可是如果你现在出的这个东西卖的这么贵，完成度又不高，你要靠后续的更新去弥补你这个游戏的缺陷。各位，这个钱你个人觉得你会买得下去吗？如果你本身的完成度就很高，你再用其他的一些战役去加进去，比如说你看一下战地3跟战地4，这个钱是买得下去，这个钱我是愿意花的。但反之，你们自己去想。
And it'll just get better from here. So, like, as a launching off point, it's amazing, and then we'll just get better. And with feedback from the players and the communities, and we'll build this into something that's just next level.
What are some of the key mechanical and/or graphical updates that we're going to see with this title, or improvements we've seen from the past?
All right, so as I said, our core combat team, so David Sturland and folks, they're maniacs. And so when we started this project, they just wanted to go all out on combat. Like, we just wanted to have the best combat experience you've ever had in Battlefield. And so that's the moment-to-moment gameplay that you immerse yourself in. And so one of the first things they talked about is like, we got to have drag and revive. That's a huge element of Battlefield. And the second we put that in the game, you could see it transform the experience for players, where, now all of a sudden you're going out into no man's land, which you may have left your teammate out there normally, but now that you can drag and revive your teammate, it's so much fun to do that. It's so rewarding, and it really keeps that team play. So that's one of the big elements that you may think it's a small detail, but man, it's huge in Battlefield to have that dimension. And then all the others, just going crazy with the combat system, with the gunplay, the peek, the mounting of the weapons, the crouch sprint, all those things, and the combat roll. So much fun when you're diving out of a window and you combat roll right into the action. Like, it's just an awesome combat experience. So I'm excited about all that. And then, as I said, the destruction's next level. I've been a Battlefield fan forever, and I've always loved the destruction, but I don't think players will have ever seen anything like this. Like, the delight that there is throughout the match of seeing the map transform, the surprises of, like, you think you're hiding behind a wall and all of a sudden it gets blown out, or the floor blows out beneath you, and it's just so much fun. Like, there's just laughter and delight of all these different things that happen within the match.
Drag and Revive is a good pull. It's a good one. Also, attack sprint's been a huge discussion out there. I don't know if you guys have any updates or details on that, and if not, any movement we should be looking out for, because all these titles are now switching up on how they want to portray their movement. There's a lot of updates for that. I don't know where that's going in the future, but any updates when it comes to movement?
No.
Gotcha. For when it comes to long-term fans of the Battlefield franchise, what would be your pitch to them of coming back and giving this title yet another go?
I mean, it is the core DNA of Battlefield. Like, I think we've kind of said that, but the combat system, the controls have been refined to such a level that it's the DNA of Battlefield taken to the next level. Like, it's a natural progression. It feels so good. It's so responsive. It's like, if you've had trouble in the past, or you've had complaints in the past, this system nails it. Like, the team has done an amazing job with the combat controls. So.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's made with people who love Battlefield. Like, these are people who've been on the franchise for 20+ years, who just, their life is Battlefield, and they want to get it right. And so we spent a lot of time, early in the project, of man, we've got to get the DNA of Battlefield right. Destruction, classes, combat, all-out warfare. And I was always excited when we were having these conversations, because there's this notion of man, I can't wait until the core sees what we have going on with Battlefield. I feel like this is exactly what they've been looking for. And I think with Battlefield Labs, we've been able to get reps with all of them too. It's just man, what do you guys think? Do you think we nailed it? And all the feedback we've been getting. So I don't say this lightly. It's been an obsession to get Battlefield right for the core.
Yeah, and that fan feedback has been so important. The lab's feedback has been amazing. It's helped us hone stuff way faster than we ever could have on our own, so that's invaluable.
That was going to be my follow-up question too. When it comes to taking community feedback, whether it's streamers, creators, diehard players, and whatnot, how does that influence the development cycle heavily, or how do they have hands-on in this experience building the game as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's validating in some respects, right? Like, you put something out there, you try something, and to see it work and to see people respond to it well is validating. On the other side of that is, it doesn't always work, right? And so you change things, you dial things in, it's like, you can't, without iteration, you can't get to, I wouldn't say perfection, but to the best quality that we have the ability to do. So we need that iteration. The more of it we get, the better we can be.
Can you guys go into a few details on the class system too, and how that interacts with the weapons? In my understanding, and again, very light hands on the game so far. I'm super excited for this, but everyone I've talked to has talked about the class system and how those weapons are also lightly attached to a class, but not fully stuck. So you can pretty much use whatever weapon you like, but there might be some benefits to using certain weapons with certain classes. Do you mind explaining that a bit more?
I guess I'll start from the notion of like, so Tom Anderson's our creative director for Battlefield. He's been on Battlefield, probably since day one, and he's like an encyclopedia on the essence of Battlefield, and Serlin is like the maniac on combat. So those two, the amount of reps, it's awesome to watch those two operate and talk about classes and the gadgets and how everything works together. I almost wish we could live stream some of their meetings. That they're so fun to watch, and those guys have such expertise. But the notion for it is on the design of the open weapon system is that each class has a signature weapon. So we want there to be a benefit to you playing. Like if you're in the recon, like you do have benefits if you play the sniper rifles. But to the same extent, if you love playing recon and you like the gadget set, we want you to be able to play with any weapon that you enjoy. And so I think Tompkins talked about this. Like in the past, maybe you chose a class just because of the weapon, and you didn't bring all the other skill sets to the team. And they wanted to really fine tune that. So that's the open weapon system. And then we heard through Battlefield Labs and feedback, people are like, man, I really love the closed weapon system. And so we're like, all right, let's do both. Let's let people play the way they want to play. Like we love the open weapon system. We think people are gonna have a blast with it, but we'll also have the closed weapon system too.
You might chirp in on this, so let me know. Any interest in pursuing like a creator program, or is that already a part of the future plans for involving the community at a higher degree?
For us, creators have been essential from the start. Like our teams have literally traveled the world to get feedback from creators around the world, and we've brought them into the studio. We've had live sessions, one-on-ones. Like it's been a huge part of it. And then this event for us in Battlefield Labs is the culmination of just like, man, we really value the creator community. Like they're the essence of the gaming industry, and Battlefield's all about that.
Awesome. We'll work it around if we don't. It's all good. Thank you guys for answering regardless. But when it comes to skin bundles, we see a lot of people flow in different directions on this topic. When it comes to skin bundles or skin collaborations, is that something we can expect to see with Battlefield 6? All right. All good. That's what you're here for. Okay. You guys both obviously come from Call of Duty. Do you guys see this title as competition or a competitor to that, or how do you view that competition outside looking in?
I mean, they've both existed for so long, that together. I think they complement each other in different ways. We have things that they don't. Battlefield, the destruction, the class system stuff. Like it's such an amazing experience. It's different. Is it a competitor in a way? Like every other game's a competitor, kind of in a way. But Battlefield is unique and offers things that no one else really can.
I feel like she might interject again, but I have to ask. And again, notice it's not going out until obviously embargo tomorrow, so I don't know if that changes anything. Is there going to be a battle royale mode?
Yeah, it's embargoed until after tomorrow's over.
You guys haven't seen what we're showing.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's anything planned for tomorrow.
We did mention there will be surprises at the end tomorrow.
People might have thought might be anti-cheat. Obviously, a widespread topic too. Whenever you talk to devs, any additionals you guys are going after to pursue that kind of thing and make sure. I know they talked about it lightly on stage, saying of course it's going to be a high focus, but any additionals to add on people concerned about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, it's a weird one because you don't want to talk about what you're doing because it gives, people that are trying to cheat a head start against you. It's a huge thing in the industry, in gaming. It's a constant arms race, like that we're always putting a lot of effort into. Like, know that. Like, it is something that we would stamp out completely if we could. It is an arms race. And we will, to the day we die, we will be fighting it. So
I think it does. I think the destructibility does live up to the hype. There's a lot of design that goes into it that you hear from the developers, like the nuances of it that, you don't want the whole map to be leveled because then you lose all your sight lines, you lose cover and so forth. So it's been meticulous of how to execute the destruction and keep the performance up and keep the map intact. But for me, what I think people are going to delight in is just the craziness that happens within a conquest match or breakthrough, whatever mode you're playing in, is just, I can't emphasize it enough, that you're running for cover and a tank all of a sudden blows the whole building down, or you're crashing through windows or blowing out floors with C4. It's just, the dimension of the fun for me is at another level. I've never played a game that has that where the destruction is this much fun.
Yeah, I think that's right. And it's about predictability and making, we're not designing a map to be completely destroyed, because that wouldn't be as fun, right? Like, these are people that have spent a lot of time designing something where you can tell what can be destroyed and what can't, and what you can use for cover and what you shouldn't, and where things, destroy around you. Every time you play a match, even though things will destroy in the same manner every time, it's different. Every match is different. Like, I don't think we've ever played a match and said, like, oh, that at the end looks exactly like the last one. There's so much variability in what you can do and where you go that it works so well, but at the same time it maintains the quality of the map. And that, for us, that gameplay is so important. That quality of play is so important. So,
a lot of people out there, myself included, are probably like really curious what a day in both your shoes looks like on a day-to-day. Those details have to be quite interesting. But throughout this whole development cycle, what would you say is like one of the biggest challenges you personally have faced with this title?
That's a good one. I mean, it's not to complain, right? Because it's like, I feel so lucky to get to do what I do every day, right? There's hundreds of people across a 9-hour time zone difference, like, different cultures, different, workflows in different studios, and getting them all to come together, and like watching Byron kind of balance all that stuff together. Like, I'm in awe every day of the ability that he's able to kind of just see across all this and see through all that and hone it together. So, like, it's a behemoth, but the results have been just so amazing. Like, we set out to do something, and we're there. Like, like, remember the start of this, and just like sitting down and like talking about like what we wanted to do, the vision, and like to be here where we are today.
I agree. For me, coming here, was to work with Vince again, and to work on Battlefield, for me, it's a privilege. It's an honor. Like, this is one of the most iconic and coolest franchise, I think, in all of entertainment. There's just nothing like it with the large-scale warfare, all the innovation that this franchise has had. And so for me, I would probably say the hardest and the most fun part is living up to the expectations of Battlefield. It's just like the standards that we hold ourselves up to. And so when I look around at the different studios, like, that's what I want our fans to come away with, is like, man, we're dead serious about this. Like, we want to get the combat right, the destruction right, the classes right. And so for me, that's been, I wouldn't say hard, but that's the part that, on a daily basis, like, is it good enough? Is it good enough? Like, can we get it better? Like, are people having fun? Like, do they delight in it, and so forth? So for me, that's kind of all I think about, is like, man, is this the greatest Battlefield game we can make?
And I'll tell you, this guy does not relent on that.
Last closing question for you guys. It's been awesome. One of the parts in the trailer reveal that I saw that looked really interesting was Portal. Obviously, updates coming that way, but when it comes to the whole creative mode or community-made maps and modes side of things, is that going to be a strong focus for you guys this year going forward?
Yeah, definitely. We want to raise the profile of Portal. We've always thought it's just awesome to put that kind of power in the players' hands. Like, they're so creative. It's such a great community, and so that was the big effort. Is like, man, can we make Portal more powerful? Can we give our players more tools? So the notion of the spatial editor, the UI scripting, the AI scripting is like, man, with these kind of tools in our players' hands, like, who knows what they're going to come up with. And so that's one element of like, man, let's give the players more power to create things in Portal. But the other thing is like, let's put Portal front and center. And so the idea we've always had is like, man, if people are creating awesome stuff, it goes right on the front end UI next to like the main conquest mode. Like, that we want to celebrate the creations of our players. And then the third element is like, and reward them with XP. Like, give people XP for playing these insane creations from our
里面的 interview 里面提到了 Portal 传送门模式。那在2042的时候呢 ，Portal 模式是我认为在战地2042里面呢是比较可以玩的东西哦。那在新的战地6呢也有。那反而我觉得 Portal 我比较吸引我，老实说。 我不知道为什么，因为 Portal 的话，它的质地的完成度算是自由度算是高，就目前来讲，当然之后是怎样不知道。所以说呢，即便它的很多模式，比如说大逃杀，他刚刚也有提到，现在还不能讲，但我确定到它是有的哦，它没有跟游戏本体释出，它明年的时候才会有。那本体免费，你但是想要另外再氪金，所以他现在不能讲，其实已经被人家挖漏出来了。那再来的话，就是说呢，我刚刚提到 Portal 模式的话，如果你买的战地6预购战地6来讲的话呢，你什么模式可能都没有信心，但是 Portal 你可以直接去尝试哦，我是很推玩 Portal 模式的。
players. Like, that's just as much fun as a lot of the other parts of the game. So, we want to make sure people are getting progression and things like that. So we spent a lot of time on like how do we do Portal way better than it's ever been done before. So we're excited. Like even the stuff that we didn't show today, but like there's crazy stuff that our team has put together in just a matter of days. You're like, I can't believe you can do that with Portal, and I think our players are gonna surprise us even more.
Yeah, I remember I come from a world where Quake mods, and we would hire people off of like amazing mods that they did on the internet. So I have a secret desire to like find the best of the best and like, target them for maybe they should come work with us.